The Smith & Wesson revolver is very well known to target shooters. It's a great and popular revolver. But we're going to discuss today an upgrade to the sights. This is a 617 22 revolver, but the information in this video applies equally to many other models, the 686 and a lot of other different revolvers that have similar sights on them. When you look at the factory sights, they're good. They're adjustable, but we can still upgrade them. Sometimes when lighting's not so good, fiber optic sights can be better, and we can fit a fiber optic sight that's going to really glow up in the dark. Different rear sights, we've got different ones. So I want to explain how to do an installation. Now, the rear sights are pretty easy to replace, but the front sight, this particular revolver has a pinned front sight, and I want to explain how to install a new pinned front sight on that. So the first thing we will do is let's remove the rear sight. Of course, we make sure that our firearm is never loaded when we're working on it. So we have to remove a screw here to get the rear sight off. We only need pretty basic hand tools. Now, if you have a look at this, you'll see that on this revolver, we've got extra screws, which are not obvious. When you've got your sight fitted a factory sight, you only see one screw hole, but underneath that, there's actually other holes. And our new sights from LPA, they will fit with 2 screw holes. But we'll look at that in a little bit. So now we've got to remove the front sight. So I don't know if you can see that there's a small pin in that front sight. We need a little pin punch. Now this is a pin punch that I had, and it wasn't small enough, so I've ground it down a little bit on the end. It has to be pretty small. It has to be about 1.4 millimeters. It's a pretty small punch. So let's just see if we can tap this pin out. See the pin's coming out there. See if we can get it out with a pair of pliers. There we go. Now the sight, sometimes these are quite snug in the slot there. It doesn't want to move, so we just have to get a pocket knife, slip underneath it, and prise it out. Now you can see that fits down into this little cutout, and that's got a hole in there where the pin is located. Now when we get a new sight, there's no hole in there. This is the difficulty. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to put that sight in position, and we have to drill it and put the pin in. And this is the only really difficult part of the operation. Well, it's not that difficult, but it's a bit of a trick. So what we have to do is to have a very small drill. This drill is designed for the Smith & Wesson sights, and it's a special size. It's 0.055 inch drill, and so you need to have that drill before you can do this job. Okay, we use a clamp, just a normal clamp here to hold the sight in position, but while we drill it, but we don't want to damage the sight, and we don't want to damage. So I've just got a broken off little bit of wood here, which we're going to pop in here to hold it in position. for drilling. We don't want to damage anything. But this sight has to be lined up so it's right on the end. Got to get it in exactly the right position before we clamp it. So this is the thing that's a little bit fiddly. Can move it along. We want the sight lined up right on the end of the barrel there. We can clamp it down firmly now with the wood so it can't move. Okay, well, we drill a hole in it. Hang on, I haven't got it clamped firmly. Do this again. I really need an extra hand to do this. Slide it down. It's on a slight taper, so it's hard to get a good grip on it, but there we go, we're getting a bit better this time. Okay, got it in there tight now. All right, so we'll put our Dremel on. Now it's important that we drill straight. Look at it. There we go in there. Almost through. We might go from the other side a bit to make sure we get our hole. Just so the camera can get in there. Make sure we're straight. There it is. Went through. Okay. So now, if we take that out, you can see it's got a nice little clean hole through there. And we'll just clean this off. So that's nice. Prop it up there. Just make sure that there's no little bits of metal in there. So now when we put it back into position, we're ready to put the pin back. Just hold it with it's a very small pin. Punch on there. Oops, let me just get this through make sure it's going through, lining up the hole. There we go. Installed on the front. So look at that. Look how it shines up so bright. It's got great visibility, these sights. Now the question is, what type of rear sight do we want? Do we want a black one, which is going to look like that with fiber optic? Do we want a silver one, fiber optic? Looks nice. Or we could have just a flat blade on the rear and fiber optic on the front. So there's a lot of different possibilities with the LPA sights. They have a whole big range. I think I'm going to go for the silver one with the fiber optic, which is a very popular one. We can see we've got two holes here, which we can pick up quite easily. Oops. A bigger screwdriver be better. Snug those screws up. I mean, you could put a drop of Loctite on them possibly, but on a 22 it doesn't matter. But if you're putting it on a heavier caliper, so there we go. Look at the visibility of those sights. It's really good. You can see them here. We've got full adjustable windage adjustment here and elevation there. So yeah, this is a very functional upgrade. You've got a new set of sights on there which will allow you to shoot more accurately, have more fun.